The girl had been standing for almost 20 minutes when the candles were lit. Her name was Aaliyah, and it was her 10th birthday. The room was full of laughter, balloons floated against the ceiling, and music played softly in the background of the crowded restaurant. Children rushed past her with plates of cake, adults chatted without noticing, and chairs scraped the floor as people settled comfortably into their seats. Everyone had a place to sit. Everyone except her. Aaliyah leaned slightly on her metal walking brace, her thin fingers gripping the handle of her crutch. Her legs trembled, not just from weakness, but from the quiet embarrassment she was trying so hard to hide. She didn't want attention. She didn't want pity. She just wanted to sit down on her birthday. Her mother, Farah, noticed. Of course she did. Mothers always notice. She caught Aaliyah's eye from across the room and forced a smile, the kind that tries to say everything is fine even when it isn't. Farah was exhausted. Raising a disabled child alone had drained her savings, her strength, and sometimes her hope. She had booked this small birthday gathering weeks ago, praying it would be perfect. But the restaurant was overcrowded, and when extra guests arrived, the staff ran out of chairs. Farah had asked politely. Then again. Then a third time. Each time, she was told to wait. Aaliyah shifted her weight and felt a sharp pain shoot up her leg. She bit her lip and stared at the cake. Pink frosting. 10 candles. She made a silent wish she didn't dare say out loud. I wish I could sit like everyone else. At a nearby table sat a man named Imran, a single father in his late 30s, wearing a worn jacket and tired eyes. Beside him sat his 6-year-old son, Hamza, swinging his legs happily under the chair. Imran hadn't planned to be there long. Money was tight, and this small treat was meant to be a reward for Hamza's good grades. But something had caught Imran's attention. He noticed the girl standing alone at tea first. He thought maybe she was waiting for someone. Then he saw the brace. The crutch. The way her face tightened every time she shifted her weight. He watched as adults walked past her without a second glance. He saw Farah's forced smile and the quiet desperation behind it. Imran felt something twist in his chest. He had known what it felt like to be invisible. After his wife passed away, people stopped seeing him as a person and only saw a struggling man with a child and no safety net. He worked long hours as a delivery driver, sometimes skipping meals so Hamza could eat. He had learned that kindness rarely arrived unless someone demanded it. Hamza tugged on his sleeve. Abu, why is that girl standing? Imran looked at his son, then back at Aaliyah. Because sometimes, he said softly, people forget to do the right thing. Imran stood up. The room didn't go silent, but something shifted when he spoke. His voice wasn't loud, but it was steady, carrying the weight of someone who had learned to speak even when his hand shook. Excuse me, he said, addressing the nearest table of adults who were laughing over their phones. That child can't stand for long. It's her birthday. One of you can give up a chair. There was an awkward pause. People avoided eye contact. Someone coughed. Another person pretended not to hear. The staff member nearby froze, unsure how to respond. Imran felt anger rise, but he kept his voice calm. She's disabled, he continued. Standing like that causes her pain. If no one else will move, I will. Without waiting for permission, Imran pulled his own chair out and carried it across the room, setting it gently behind Aaliyah. For you, he said simply. Aaliyah's eyes widened. She looked at her mother, unsure if it was okay. Farah covered her mouth, tears forming despite her efforts to stay composed. She nodded. Aaliyah lowered herself into the chair, relief washing over her face so clearly it broke something inside everyone who noticed. The tension in her shoulders eased. Her breathing slowed. She smiled, a small, grateful smile that felt bigger than the entire room. Someone clapped. Then another. Slowly, applause spread, awkward at first, then sincere. The restaurant manager rushed over, apologizing profusely. Chairs suddenly appeared as if by magic. Offers were made. Free desserts promised. But Imran wasn't listening anymore. He was already walking back to his son. Hamza looked up at him with shining eyes. Abu, he said, you did a good thing. Imran swallowed hard. We did, he replied. By noticing. The party continued, but something had changed. People were quieter, kinder, more aware. Aaliyah laughed freely now, telling her friends stories, blowing out her candles with a wish that felt lighter than the one she made before. Later, Farah approached Imran. Her voice trembled as she spoke. You have no idea what that meant to her. Or to me. Imran shrugged, uncomfortable with praise. I just did what anyone should. She shook her head gently. Not everyone does. When it was time to leave, Aaliyah waved goodbye, her smile lingering long after she disappeared through the door. That night, as Imran tucked Hamza into bed, his son asked, "Will someone help me like that if I need it one day?" Imran kissed his forehead. "Yes," he said, "because you'll grow up to be someone who helps first." And somewhere, a 10-year-old girl went to sleep feeling seen, valued, and strong, knowing that even in a crowded world, one voice can change everything. The morning after her birthday felt different to Aaliyah. Sunlight slipped through the thin curtains of their small apartment, landing softly on her school bag resting against the wall. Usually, mornings were slow and painful. Her legs needed time, patience, and quiet strength. But today, there was something else inside her chest. Not excitement. Not happiness exactly. Something warmer. Something steadier. She remembered the man's voice. Calm. Firm. Unafraid. Farah noticed it too. As she helped Aaliyah adjust her brace, she saw a spark in her daughter's eyes that had been missing for a long time. "You're smiling already," Farah said gently. Aaliyah nodded. "Ami, do you think all people aren't bad?" The question caught Farah off guard. She paused, then smiled softly. "No, Jan. Just distracted. Sometimes they need reminding." At school that day, the reminder was needed again. The classroom was noisy, chairs scraping, children rushing to claim their favorite seats. Aaliyah arrived a little late because the bus ramp had jammed again. By the time she entered, every seat was taken. The teacher hadn't arrived yet. No one noticed her standing near the door, balancing herself carefully, trying not to draw attention. Her legs began to ache, whispers started. A boy in the back giggled. Another student stared too long. Aaliyah felt that familiar shrinking feeling, the one that made her wish she could disappear into the floor. Then she remembered the chair. She remembered how one man stood when everyone else stayed seated. Aaliyah took a breath. "Can I please sit?" she asked quietly. In no response. Her voice trembled, but she tried again, louder this time. "I can't stand for long." The room fell silent. A few students looked at her, surprised. A girl near the window hesitated, then slowly stood up and pulled her chair out. "You can take mine," she said. Aaliyah froze for a second, then smiled. "Thank you." As she sat, the pain eased, but something else happened too. A knot inside her loosened. For the first time, she didn't feel weak for asking. That evening, fate worked quietly again. Imran was finishing a late delivery when his phone buzzed. The number was unknown. He almost ignored it, but something made him answer. "Is this Imran?" A woman asked. "Yes." "This is Farah. We met yesterday, at the restaurant." Imran straightened. "Is everything okay?" "Yes," she said quickly. "More than okay. I wanted to thank you properly. And there's something else." She explained about Aaliyah's school. The broken bus ramp. The lack of support. The constant small battles that exhausted them both. Imran listened silently. "My cousin runs a community center," he said finally. "They help with mobility equipment. It's not charity. It's people helping people. Let me make a call." Farah's voice broke. "You don't have to." "I know," Imran replied. "But I want to." A week later, Aaliyah stood in the community center, gripping a brand new lightweight walking aid. It wasn't magic. It didn't fix everything. But it made standing easier, moving less painful, living a little freer. Hamza watched her test it out, clapping excitedly. "You're fast now." Aaliyah laughed. A real laugh. Loud. Fearless. That day, Imran didn't feel like a struggling single father. Farah didn't feel like she was fighting alone. And Aaliyah didn't feel like a burden. She felt like a girl with a future. Sometimes, change doesn't come as a miracle. Sometimes it comes as a chair offered at the right moment, a voice raised when it matters, and a lesson passed quietly from one heart to another, and once learned, it never leaves.